What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. If you are thinking of spending anywhere near this price on a Dark Magician Girl Lost Art promo, you need to be bonked and go straight to horny jail. There's only one listing on TCG Player for that shock factor price of $150, but what is interesting is the auctions on eBay are all above $30. I do think this will be long-term one of the highest priced Lost Art promos, but the lowest buy it now is at $46. Why is that shocking, John? It's an amazing art for the card. It's Dark Magician Girl. Well, how you get a Lost Art promo is you go to your OTS, you spend $30 MSRP on products, and you get this completely for free. What's the most popular product right now? The Megatins. Of course, people are chasing after Dragoon, Pot of Extravagance, and tons of other cards, and getting this completely for free on top, which might reflect the $40 they're putting in for the tins that they want for this, but all the auctions heading here is crazy. I get the online marketplace is choked. It's one of the only places you can get things. People in the comment section have mentioned I don't have an OTS nearby. My closest OTS is 2 hours away. It's the crush card time, so I'm not going to go out to locals. Well, it looks like there will be more quantities of these heading on market, but I want to give a reminder. Right now, Lost Art promos, they're only going to be every 2 weeks instead of every month. So that means the quantities being sent to stores is lower, and this card is again going to be one of the most chased after ones. People love to make full pages of Dark Magician Girl, like shrines and tributes basically, and they're not content with one copy very often, at minimum a playset. But people really love that full page aspect, and I thought long term this would be 50. Supply should be going up on this card on market over the next couple of weeks, but it looks like the demand is really there chomping at the bit. So if you're wanting this card, you got a DMG collection, it looks like you're going to be paying a little extra for it. Now I want to talk about this product. YBM has it on sale for $100 for 8 boxes, and with code WhatsGood5 to support the channel for 5% off, well, it's like $25 off what you would be spending MSRP at $15 a box. I still don't like this as a product. I think the singles are relatively trash outside of a very few, but Dice can hard carry a product, and I think when it comes to dice, a lot of people are happy to spend $15 on certain ones. I think the Timaeus dice actually could reach that and be a weird selling point for this. We'll have to wait and see. I've also heard of other vendors thinking about holding this long term. I just think there's better products to do that with. I don't like this product, but there have been back and forth conversations that I do have to recognize, one being the dice, one being long-term potential if this doesn't get an unlimited wave, which I don't think it's going to sell well, and you already see Konami trying to hash out different ratios as we head towards Legendary Duelist Season 2 to fix these side new special edition products. Also, Phantom Rage is something to consider getting sooner than later by far, and these are some of the cheapest prices left on market over at YBM when you use code WhatsGood5, again supporting the channel. I think that Phantom Rage has a ton of potential between, you got your big old Gundam boy, you got Zoo King Alpha, you got the Tri-Brigades, you got the Datascapes, and Konami's been pretty dead on with the Starlights, and we still don't know what the mystery Starlight is. I think Eternity Code, Rise of the Duelists, and this have been 3 banger core sets in a row, and they needed to do that with the new ratio changes, and we still don't know the 17 exclusives. But with Tri-Brigades hitting the market, we do see an impact directly on Zodiac. Chaka 9's back up towards $10. She's been around there. She's floated between 8 and 10, but Zodiac Whiptail getting another buyout up to the $50 range. It's actually ridiculous out here. He's floated between 13 to 23 for so long, and finally is up there, and the market price is actually at 43. Another interesting look is Super Zodiac Ram has been slow going up, and I think it could go up even higher depending on how real the Zoo engine mixes with the Tri-Brigade engine, making those big old Link monsters on top of also getting to go like the Tri-Brigade engine is very good. Do not underestimate that, but I think these decks will also be looking at some Morgue and other ways to play. Zoo has a lot of one-card loops into there, and Barrage is no joke, and a lot of people are thinking the ban list might help this out, so extra speculation and money is going into this as you see Broad Bull quantities disappearing, Dridents are kind of chilling, but also certain ones are disappearing. Get this sooner than later if you really want to play Tri-Brigade Zoo. Don't sleep on it. It might actually be my personal deck IRL style, although I've really been liking Fluffles lately. Gym Tech now, I want to call them gym playmats from times of old, but they have a new website layout here, and they're doing 15% off site-wide while also showcasing some upcoming products such as Buyouts Tech, as well as a reprint of their original cloth playmat, the Senjo. They truly are my favorite face mask to actually wear, and at a decent price as well. I need to stop washing the discard. Brandon, please send me some extras. But these are some of the, definitely the best masks on market, period. Like, not Team Samurai X1 best deck ever, although his dinosaur deck unironically was for that tournament, and the backpacks are very good too, so go check that out. No discount code needed. It's going to be a one-day flash sale. Let's talk Megatons. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon up and chilling at 45. Man, I did not see the rebound being that quick. It fell to 30, had its flashpoint of only staying there for hours, hiked back up to 40, and now is towards 45. People are asking me if they think, if I think there's going to be another lower price point on this, and the Megatons were shorted, and I think a lot of more people are interested now in trying to sell their Megatons sealed, rather than bust them open after watching, oh man, you got 0 Dragoons in that case? Well, you got 3, but you didn't get much else with it. Man, these Megatons aren't good for cracking because there's not promos for guaranteed value this year. That really drained the product value. That's part of why this is up so much. And it is a lot of people lined up here, though. You can see there's a lot of quantities, but nobody's wanting to dip below that price on Red Eyes Dragoon. Now, the rest of the set is pretty good eating. Pot of Extravagance, worth the value of the 10. It's the one that I called because people would be after it in playsets. Borreload Savage hanging around 14. Apollosa, kind of destined to go down a little more depending on the rate it will be in Gold Series. IP Masquerena at $9. It's 9 to 10. It's been floating between. And the rest of the set, just, you can use that TCG player code confidently in the link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Everything's just amazing prices, and there's a lot of penny stonks to be had. I love that Striker Dragon is like literally $1 and under. Red Eyes Weaver, speaking of Dragoon, is a card that got a lot of talk with Dragoon coming. I don't necessarily know about that one, but do remember the Ancient Prophecy version. It had foiling problems coming out of the special edition where a lot of them would have wear when you're pulling them, but we see near mints are around 450, so that's kind of a cool piece of history to get near mint to see sellers have in hand. And the GX version from the video game has been bought out once again. You see a couple foreign copies, which for a video game promo, that's not bad, but no near mint English copies, period. It's really weird how the foreign market has just kind of been devastated lately, and everybody wants English copies, whereas old school cards like this, Italian, French, that was so desirable. I think with the video game promo, it's a cool piece of history to have, even at $18 to $19. Let's talk Rise of the Duelist a bit and some stuff that's been happening. Tactics Talents keeps going up slowly, and I do think it's something to grab sooner than later. It's going to be format dependent somewhat, but getting to punish Gamma, because it's such a high-use hand trap in this format, and just take it for a tuner to make Halka Fibrax, that's a pretty darn good play. Forbidden Droplet doing its $5 variants, and then Dear Servant isn't really at 45. Somebody has it listed with absurd shipping somewhere, and they're still around 65. So it's just doing its normal $5 float that it's been doing. But another interesting conversation is Triple Tactics Talent was bought out to $400. We actually saw this live on stream just Sunday, and 2 days later, tons of willing sellers in the 370 range, and even 360 here. They're lower rated sellers. They want to make those sales, so they have to be competitive in price, and everybody else trying to line up around $400. I do think this has long lightning storm-like potential in terms of its price going towards $600 one day. If you're thinking about a Starlight collection, I would be securing the bag. I would want to get this around this price because Rise of the Duelist was shorted. We know that Konami, whenever something like that happens, tends to try to do an unlimited wave somewhere, but we haven't seen what they're gonna do with core sets yet. But that does mean Starlights from Rise are less out there in the market than pretty much any other Starlight to date. that is something to consider, especially with the sealed product going up as well. It's hard to get boxes of Rise. It's just not the easiest thing. They're now up from 80, heading towards 85. Eldritch the Golden Lord is down. John, why is this happening? Is it banlist fears? I don't realistically think that the banlist fears are what's driving this down. It had a huge buyout, if you recall. It spiked to 175 on market because people tried to go after it. I think it was a terribly timed buyout. I think it was destined to fall back out from there. And Konami even made puns on Golden Lord. I don't believe the rumor list going around, but I do always take note when Konami mentions something or an employee mentions something. So this could be a selling point of a product before events are even back. Even if it's not Gold Series, a March reprint set, a Battles of Legend, as events get back, maybe. We don't know when that will be, but he very well could have a reprint before we're even there. If you're in remote duels and you're using this deck, that should be the only reason you're holding on to this, in my opinion. Infinite Impermanence is also going up in price, and a lot of people have been asking me if they should get theirs now. It's around $38 for the Ultras and headed up. The secrets are hitting the stratosphere even for Unlimiteds. My opinion is, well, hey, the March reprint set is coming again, and if Konami is really sick, that's where they'll plant it instead of structured X and selling side sets. But they also could put it as easily in something as, say, Genesis Impactor as an ultra rare. It would only be 3 per case as an ultra rare, and then you would also see a collector rare variant of it. And that's, I think, Konami brain as well, because Ash Blossom, if you remember, was sold in Shadows in Valhalla. They could repeat that, or they could just keep March reprint setting it, and that would be kind of terrible. Animador Archosaur coming in at like number 20 on this market watch. He's at $40 now. Last I think we peaked in, he was around 34 and headed up. So he is kind of stabilizing around here. Team Samurai X1 hype, but dinosaurs were really slept on. There is the discussion that it won the last YCS, and now it won Konami's tournament. So if they do craft a ban list that just isn't a pardon list, the dinosaurs could get incidental hits. I really hope that's not the case. They still have to sell Animadorn in the future, but we've seen bans on stuff like IB out the gate, or reprints on the one. Like, Konami's done audibles with the market past what we would think, or with their cards past what we would think, and dinosaurs could be a victim there, but I don't know about that one. I think they're fine. This is a conversation that's come up multiple times on stream, and I want to point out how ridiculous it is. This is the Advanced Demo Pack 4 Demo Packs. Demo Pack 1 has had some interesting buyouts in the past with like their Upstart Goblin and stuff, but an $850 polymerization. If you really want to list yours at $5, you might get a huge win. Look over at the European card market, and you see tons of listings, all at dimes and nickels. This is just people being ridiculous, hoping to make a home run, trying to get confusion around something. Go ahead, list yours at 5, and maybe you'll get a real sell here and make some money off of it. Let's talk the Echo and what's going on. I feel like a lot of prices have bottomed out past what they should have with Eternity Code, and it's awesome. It's that Dark Neostorm effect, like I said. So many good cards all in one set competing, nothing tying too hard into like one area or another because a lot are generic. Ghost Mourner is down in price way past where it should be, and Gearsu's an interesting talk as we head towards pardonless territory. If Konami heads that way again, and with how hard Orcust has been bricking, they may give us a little something on that list. And a lot of people are making that discussion. So if we actually saw that, what do you think Gearsu's ceiling is? Watch for that list, wait for it, and see what happens for sure. Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning is around $180, $185 for its unlim. It keeps sinking down. No one wants to touch unlimited collector rares, period, it feels like, but the first eds are actually sitting pretty. The 280s have disappeared, and it's back up towards 290 for the first edition. So that's like a little bit of variance for that price. It's barely, 3%, but when it does come to conversation, that means there's sales happening in the first editions, and largely ignored are the unlimiteds. We also see that emergency teleport is popping off into the stratosphere, especially for the ultimate rares. Wow, there's so many light plays and other versions, but $50 lowest now for the unlims, and the first edition is on another plane of existence at $150. I suggested different variants of this card would be something you want to grab as we head towards Phantom Rage, and it's also seeing play in the current meta to make use of dead gammas after the first one's already activated. It also brings a tuner onto your field for Halka 5Rex. I'm missing something here. I know Robbie Cole actually did a huge discussion on collector rares today. Psyframe Gamma first edition has been bought out. It's a card I suggested as it was bottoming out. The unlimiteds, though, are even up a little from the last time I showed them. This is one of the most played hand traps of the format, but it's format dependent. Are you looking cool on the Skype duels? I feel like with this card, the first ed isn't a bad long-term grab. It's going to revolve back into formats. It's going to get rolling buyouts then as well. But the unlims are questionable, and I would probably stay away. Pay that extra money for the first edition stamp. It's a lot like Ghost Rares, where it's only going to grow the gap bigger over time. And finally, Tsukiyomi's ultimate rare also had a bit of a buyout. We see it's towards 140 here, and then 200. It was 50 just a couple days ago. I know people were eyeing this, talking more GOAT format buyouts, and they've been happening widespread, so there's a resurgence of people going specifically after those cards in the collector's market. This is just another victim of that. Thank you for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and let me know what you think of everything going on with both the meta market and collector market. I think there's ridiculous proportions in certain places, while other things have definitely been overall quality choices that people have made even.